Okay, I think we can all agree that the takeoff on the previous video was pretty rough. So I'm not going to do that again. I wanted to give some feedback on the experience of uploading the video for the first time. So I'm very glad that I actually went ahead and recorded it. I've learned some few things. I've learned some things. Some of them were few. So, first of all, it was an even more tedious process to actually get the video ready for YouTube. So I didn't do a lot of cuts like I promised because I want to be raw and uncut in the process. Like I said, I didn't expect anyone to look at it. So I'm currently at like 9 views, which was unexpected. And then of course I have my first viewer that asked me what they will get because they are my first viewer, and they watched the video not at 2 times speed but at 1 speed, the whole video. So thank you, Dylan. That's what you get for my first video view. And I hope this is less cringy for you the first 10 minutes. It will probably not be less cringy, let's be real. So firstly, as I said, it was more of a frustration to get the video on YouTube. So of course I recorded it on my phone. I had to get a mic. This was one of the analysis paralysis aspects of recording a video. I knew the mic of my camera is not going to be good enough. So I had to order this, had to wait a little bit. Temu, MVP. And then it was just in my closet for 3 months, along with the tripod. So that's that. Got the video, got the audio. Wasn't terrible. It's not the best mic. My first go-to was Capcut, which I think a lot of people do. I've used it a little bit for TikTok. I'm old, so I didn't find it very user-friendly, or I would like to say intuitive. I struggled with it. Maybe I'm just not intuitive with tech because I keep using that phrase, so maybe it's happening to me. So I put it on Capcut, then I did small edits because there was, you'll see, I think there was 2 places I cut. The one was just after I said hi, that very, very authentic hi. I just stared into space awkwardly, not knowing how to sit or what to say or what language to say it in. So I cut that part, and there was a different part where I had kind of segued into a different direction than I started the conversation with. So I cut that, and I just added my little description piece for the website for charmedmasquerade.coza. And I did cut the CapCut part out, but so now it was on CapCut, and I want to export it like I have done 100 of times with the TikTok videos, and it will not let me export. It tells me I have to get the pro version. I'm like, I don't understand why. I didn't use a feature. I tried a feature, but then I backtracked on it. Didn't work. So as you do, you upload it to Google Drive. That took forever. Then, I put it on Google Drive to try on my desktop CapCut to see if I can export it there. Put it on Drive, downloaded it, took time, everything took time. Then I tried to upload it to CapCut. It said, no thank you, and told me to download the desktop version. I downloaded the desktop version, and something was buggy as hell with that thing, let me tell you, because it just did not want to do shit. Then I tried Canva, and Canva told me you can only edit videos up to 15 minutes, which mine was 23 minutes. So that was a dead end. Turned out I went back to Capcut on my phone, did the edit again, I think. No. Then I uploaded it on the Capcut server to try and access it on the desktop Canva. And it still didn't want to edit it. So anyway, I ended up editing it on my phone again, and then just biting the bullet to pay for Premium or Pro, whatever it is, for CapCut. So I did that, and I did some sound clarifying actions, not heavy, just a little bit of clarity. It feels a little boxy. It's better than the audio. Anyway, so that was very frustrating. Then when that was done, I tried to upload it to YouTube on my phone. And then, of course, it was update time. So my phone updated and I just went to sleep. And the Friday morning, I wanted to check something. I don't know what. I think I wanted to put chapters in on YouTube, and I just went to my video and it said, oh, it's pending. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? So I went back on my phone YouTube studio, and it said it was pending. So it was uploading then, and then it was on. So I'm glad I put like a target on it to be on YouTube by Friday, but it was very annoying. And at the moment, I don't have a set schedule. So that's on the recap for just the experience of actually putting that video on YouTube. The second part is still a review of the first video, and it's just a note, which I found very fascinating. As a creative person, I have long thought of my creativity, let's say my creative aesthetic, as part of my personality. In fact, maybe even the more important part of my personality. And the type of art I gravitate towards, music, aesthetics, everything, is a little bit more moody, broody, atmospheric, melancholic, layered. So I kind of wanted to project that image in the way that I presented the video and in the way I presented myself, despite the way I look. Don't mind that part. And I think that's also why the high was so awkward, because in my mind I was thinking I need to be taken serious and be sophisticated and eloquent. And while I watched the video again, I realized the part that was more comfortable was the part where I became myself, which is paradoxically a lot more goofy than a broody artist type of situation. So for the sake of my own sanity, I'm just gonna not try to be sophisticated in these videos. But it was just interesting to identify that divergence between the personality that I have, what comes out between people or with people, and the type of things that I resonate with in terms of art and the things that I write, and just the things that I would like to put out in the world. So it's going to be a little bit disbodied, I think. When you if you watch these videos and you read the book or the things that I put out, it'll feel a bit peculiar. I had an image now when I was driving of like those tropes. It's not really a trope, but we have this either very dark character, and then they have something goofy, like they have an obsession with My Little Pony. Deadpool's, I guess, no, Deadpool's not a good example. Scratch that. I'm just meaning like a very dark, murderous, broody character, and then he likes My Little Pony. Or the sunshine character that listens to metal. So I think it's almost like that type of dynamic. Then The next part is I want to try and do like a little animation snippet for my greeting or somewhere between whatever. And I am asking my trusty friend ChatGPT to help me with that. I haven't done anything yet because I was doing tax, which was the worst ever. What a horrendous experience, but it's done now. So I'll probably start trying something there tomorrow when I make a video about it. If I make a video about it, if I do it, we'll see. Then I also reckoned that before I jump into the series about the masquerade and the planning, I realized I'm kind of focused on that part, but that's the reason I did all of it. And if it wasn't for love, I would have tapped out a lot faster in the whole process. I mean, I wouldn't even have done it. I don't think I would have done it. So it's for the love of that entity over there that I endeared much. Let's just say that. So I just wanted to give a little intro, I guess, to why I wrote Charmed Vigilance and why it has that name. Because this channel and the masquerade and everything will not even have existed if it wasn't for that story. So a little bit about me, because I'm the one that the story chose to have it written, which is an interesting choice, but I'm not judging. I only wrote poetry when I was in school. I actually was not very good with languages for my, what do you call it in English? I don't know what it's like, pre-primary, primary, ages between 9 and 13, if I remember, no, 6 and 13. I actually had a backlog in my language abilities when I was grade 7. I don't think I'm going to expand on that, but let's just say I sucked, okay? And I was told to write little pieces every day. The first thing I wrote for that had something to do with a black cat. The rest I cannot remember. I spelled witch, W-I-C-H, so that's how the witch needed the H. And I couldn't spell that. I sucked. Okay, so the English was not delicious. And started doing poetry when I was in my teens, as teens do, moody, broody teens do. It was a moody, broody teenage poetry. And what I do remember is obviously I'm the generation that was the age that, how do I say it? When Harry Potter's films came out, I was the age that Harry was. Not to make you do math, I'm turning 35. So 2001 I was 11 and Harry is 11 in the books. So I really connected with that story and I just thought it was magical. And I remember deciding that I was going to write a book that is going to be like Harry Potter. And I remember writing, it was like I wrote a page and a half. My mom read it. I don't even know what she said, but what I do remember is there being 6 kids, 3 girls, 3 boys. I don't remember the rationale. I just remember the one girl was a redhead. Now, I had not read the Harry Potter books, so I think Hermione is like, no, I'm lying, sorry, I'm thinking about the Weasleys. But I wrote that piece, and I think the scene was literally something like these 6 kids walking up to a door and knocking on it, something like that, and like a little bit of character descriptions. Didn't write much, and then in matric, it was grade 11, so that was when I was 17. We read a book, it's going to be Afrikaans now, but whatever, Voetpad na Vergelegen. And It was like a book that played off, I think, in the, I can't remember, it was like early 1900s, maybe the late 1800s, I'm not 100% sure. It's about a cotton farm, if I remember correctly. We were tasked for our Afrikaans class to write an epilogue for the book. And which I didn't mention, when I hit high school, a shift came in terms of languages. So I became naturally good at essays and stuff like that. I remember we would have essays due that we'd have like 3 weeks knowledge of it in advance. I free-handed those essays literally the morning of, and then the first draft is what I handed in, and most of them I got like 70s to 80s. So, but I mean, it was like English second language. My Afrikaans was about 60s, I think. And then I wrote this essay, and I think I did a pretty good job. I went back into the novel and found some emotive pieces. And I remember when we were being handed back the papers, everyone got theirs, and then I didn't get mine, and I was excited to get it because I wanted to know how much I'd scored. And I asked the teacher, "Where's my essay?" And he's like, "Just wait a little bit." And I was like, "Oh no." And he read it in front of the entire class, which he'd never done in, I think, the 3 years that we'd been with him. And I was shooketh, let me tell you that. That was very embarrassing. But I mean, I wasn't embarrassed of the writing, I was just embarrassed about the situation. I got a good score on that one. I can't remember the exact score. I didn't get it back because it was used for portfolio. But I think it was 87. I don't know. Anyway, so I also didn't read much. And I read The Hobbit. I know you're probably laughing, like, you said you don't read much and then you read The Hobbit. It was an exception. And then the Twilight fad hit. I think it was in my matric year that I heard that there's going to be this movie. And everyone was freaking out about Twilight. Twilight. So I went to the bookstore, got the Twilight book, and it's actually the one with the movie cover. Oh, I was so obsessed. Anyway, that kind of hooked me because I was like, oh, is this what books have been? And I haven't read books. Like, oh no, what have I been missing out on? And then I went on this entire rampage to try and find books like Twilight. Funny enough, The Hunger Games came out back then. I remember reading threads. We're talking about 2008, 2007, eh? So it wasn't the internet of today. But, I mean, I've read The Hunger Games now, and I have no idea why they even suggested that it's a similar thing. I don't think it is. And I bought a book, and I will forever not say what the book's name is. But I remember it was a year later, so I'd been to university already, and I read this book, which was like a bestseller, and it was, oh, it's so amazing. And I read that book, and I thought to myself, and I felt, if this person can put this book out, then I can do it too. Not because I wanted to write a book, but I was actually just so pissed off at that book. I couldn't understand how it was a bestseller. And the fact that I was kind of expecting Twilight, but obviously Twilight was a phenomenon, so I was just being dumb.